Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lizzie, and for today's video, I am super excited. We are going to be doing another one of the 50 horror movie scratch off. So if you haven't seen my two previous videos for this, what it is it's this fancy schmancy little box of top 50 horror movie scratch off movie night ideas. This I got through the TikTok shop. And yeah, what it is you just take one of these little cards, it's got like a silver side, and you just scratch it off and it reveals a film to watch. So I've done two of these already. The first one was Rosemary's Baby. The second one was the 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead. So go ahead and check both of those out. As you see from the title of this video, I try not to put the spoiler in. I did with the first video go back and edit the title, so I think that I'm going to continue to do it that way. I'm going to not really reveal the title right away, and then I will, add it back in later after it's been a little bit of time. But I'm really excited to continue this series, so let's go ahead and just get into it. So I have these two on the bottom. I've already done those, so just go ahead going through and shuffling until I feel like I like it. Go with this one. So they do have a little description at the bottom, so you can kind of try to guess what it is. Our 2013 112 minutes supernatural mystery. Not a clue. I am so bad at these. You guys are gonna find that I'm horrible at this. You're gonna be like, has she ever watched a horror movie? I'm not good at knowing these like descriptive facts about films before going into them. So I'm excited for you guys to guess in the comment first and see if you're right before I get into it. So got my little scratcher here. See if I can guess by the top of the image. I already know what it is. I wish I could focus well on this. Hopefully it shows. I'm pretty sure it's Annabelle, which I have seen the first Annabelle. For anyone who's not new to this channel, you know that the kind of Conjuring universe isn't my favorite. Supernatural films aren't necessarily my favorite to begin with, and the story of Annabelle, the first time I watched, let's finish, because I'm pretty fucking sure that's what it's gonna be. Okay, so it's the Conjuring. So it's the first Conjuring film, which some of you may have also guessed, because I had no clue when that came out. So it'll be interesting. I don't know if I definitely know I haven't reviewed this one. I don't know if I've actually ever watched the first Conjuring film. 'Cause like I said, I haven't been very interested in this like universe of horror. Though I love James Wan, like no hate to him. There's a lot of controversy kind of behind the Warrens that a lot of people have said, and I think including the family behind the Conjuring house have said that a lot of what they have said or released, the Warrens themselves, is faulty. That they tend to exaggerate and make some shit up. But either way, I am actually kind of excited to watch this one for the first time and review it for you guys and let you know what my thoughts were on this film. And I think one of the reasons I haven't really dived into the Conjuring universe so much is because just the ones that I have watched, like Annabelle, or even, and I guess it's not really the Conjuring universe, but it's just the fact that I wasn't a big fan of Insidious. And then obviously like we had Insidious and then the Conjuring, and I was just kind of like, meh. So yeah, I am excited to watch this one for you guys and let you know what I think, and maybe I'll end up being a fan, and maybe I'll end up getting sucked into the Conjuring universe. Who knows? But we'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and see where I can watch this one, and I'll let you guys know, and then I'll come back and let you know my thoughts.
There's someone here that would like to talk to you.
There's something horrible happening in my house.
Okay, so just got done with watching The Conjuring. Yeah, so I had not seen this one. And I guess I keep doing these videos with like the idea that whatever film it is that most people have probably seen or at least heard about the film, but I should probably go into more detail. So for anybody who's maybe watching this that doesn't know what the Conjuring films are about or this universe, it follows the story of, like I mentioned kind of in the beginning of this, the Warrens, Ed and Lorraine. If you don't know who they are, they're pretty notorious, like, supernatural investigators, I guess is the best way that I can think of how to describe it. Lorraine supposedly had abilities, and then Warren was her husband. And yeah, they investigated a lot of pretty, like, popular, well-known, I guess mostly probably popularized by them, supernatural events. I say supposedly because there's a lot of controversy. I kind of mentioned in the beginning that the original family behind the Conjuring house spoke up about, like, the lack of actual participation on the behalf of, like, the Warrens, that they said they did a lot more than they actually did. And it seems like that's kind of the vibe with them, that they seemingly kind of exaggerated things a lot throughout their career. They have both since passed over the last couple of years, so they're no longer alive. But yeah, there's definitely some controversy beyond their involving them in just their career in general. And when talking about Lorraine, I don't say supposedly in the fact that I don't believe. I definitely believe in, I definitely believe that people have abilities. I definitely believe in psychics and the supernatural in general. But again, whether or not she specifically actually had these powers is why I say, like, supposedly. So the film The Conjuring itself is loosely or based on one of their, again, most famous kind of hauntings that they, again, supposedly were involved in investigating, this house, which I have heard the story of the house a bit more. Like I said, I do believe and I do enjoy hearing about supernatural things. I mean, And That's Why You Drink, one of my favorite podcasts. I'm pretty sure they've touched on Conjuring House before. And I really enjoy, like, those things. But when it comes to these films, I'm a little more, like I did an entire series on the Paranormal Activity films. So if those come up, who knows whether or not I'll rewatch those. But generally, these films are just not really my jam. I felt... And this one, just kind of same thing. I did enjoy it a bit more than I had expected to, but it definitely took me a while to get it. These films are slow burn, which may be part of it. I like, you know, again, I'm a slasher girly, so I like more high intense films. I like when there's a lot going on pretty much from the jump, and these films are not, or at least this film is not that way at all. It is very much a slow burn to things. We're following this family, the Perrin family, who have moved into this house, and they slowly kind of start to be terrorized by some sort of entity. Kind of starts mostly with, like, the children and then works its way onto the mother. She throughout is getting these bruises of unknown origin, and then the children are all kind of being affected in different ways. Mainly, like, the three youngest. I think there's, like, 5 kids, and like I said, the 3 youngest are mainly seeming to be affected. One of them has, like, a history of sleepwalking, so she sleepwalks throughout it. Another one is kind of pulled at in her sleep, and she eventually is able to see one of the entities, and then they have the youngest daughter who really kind of from the get-go is able to see one of the child spirits. And so, again, all of them being kind of affected in different ways, and obviously things just kind of increasingly get worse as the film goes on. I really started to get into it when we have the Warrens and the parents finally kind of grouping together. We see it is interesting the way that they do this film, because you see what's going on with the Perrin family throughout the house, and then you see Lorraine and Ed, what they're doing kind of leading up to this. There's like a class that they're teaching, and talk about, they talk about their history and, paranormal activities and whatnot. And so eventually they collide together. The Perrin family reaches out for the Warrens' help. And that is where I started to really get much more interested in the film. And like I said, it takes us a while to get there. But once we were there and we had like the Warrens and their whole team and the whole family together in the house, I was really starting to get into it. I will say where it lost me is some of the effects. I liked the fact that, even though I said that I like when it's like nonstop action in a film, I liked the almost kind of unknowingness of some of the activities that were happening to the kids, or the family in general. As things escalate throughout the film, we have more instances of the children and the Perrin family in general being attacked, and Lorraine ends up attacked throughout the film as well. And it was just kind of cheesy. Like at one point, one of the children is like dragged through the house by her hair, and I don't know, I didn't love the, I guess, effects or CGI of it. However they did it, it just, every time there was like a moment like that, it felt a little cheesy. And then again, when we see the spirits, because they are revealed throughout the film, which is interesting. I feel like that's not something you see a lot in supernatural movies, is actually seeing the spirits, which in part is due to Lorraine, but also the children as well, and their ability to see. And I don't know, I didn't love it every time one popped up. It just wasn't that scary, and it just, again, felt like a little cheesy to me. This film just really did feel quite cheesy. It just didn't really terrify me. Like I said, I liked when we got to the point of all of them brought together, and I really was enjoying that. But I don't know, just as the film went on, I just didn't super love it. It is an entertaining film, and it definitely could be, a good addition to like a movie night with friends, like for anybody who's just having like a sleepover. But it honestly just didn't really do much for me personally. Like, I tried to really just focus on this film and not think too much about the Warrens outside of this franchise, and I think that's something that you kind of have to do with these films. You really have to just kind of focus more on it as the film and the characters that are, and the actors that are playing these characters, and just the characters within the film, and not so much who they're based on. There was just some other things. There's a lot of kind of witch hate in this film, because one of the entities, the kind of main, I guess, evil one within the household, is this woman who was a witch, which she is based off of like a real life person and a real life story. That's one thing within this film, is I felt like, because like I said, I do listen to some paranormal podcasts, they kind of combined characters and stories within this household, and Bathsheba is the like witch, which again, like I said, is based off of a true person. It's a bit of a witch hate moment in the film, and as someone who has a lot of friends that practice like Wiccan. I don't love that aspect in the film. There's also, I'm not gonna lie, there is an animal death which I did skip. There's a dog that we meet in the, you know, very beginning of the film, and the family's moving in, who like refuses to go into the house. Smart dog. If you move into a house and you have a pet that's refusing to go in or starts acting strange, like, listen to your animals. They know what's up. But so I did go on to doesthedogdie.com, and it, luckily someone had put the timeline for the dog's death. So when it got close, I just like skipped that because I don't need to see that shit. I don't like seeing that stuff in horror films. I mean, or really in films in general. I mean, whether or not you know this, I work in vet med, so I see enough animal death. I don't need to see it in my movies, TV shows, entertainment. So I'm not gonna lie, I skipped past that part because I just didn't want to see that. So no, I didn't hate the film. I enjoyed it a bit more than I had expected to. And again, I think that it can be like a good addition to just like a horror movie night. It is fun and it is entertaining, and I ended it with really wanting to kind of go into watching more of these films. But I'm gonna hold off in case any more of them are in the box. I don't wanna, you know, ruin anything, as much as there was like that part of me that's like, now I gotta wanna watch the rest of them. So I guess I did enjoy it more than I had really expected to. So that was my thoughts on this film. So if you have seen this film, let me know what your thoughts were on it in the comments below. I hope that you did enjoy this video. If you did, please give it a big old thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for more spooky and horror related content. And I will see you all again later with another video. Bye.